Alright, I've got the cab tilted back. And let's make sure it's in the locked position. Yep. It's locked. So, we can get down in here. And the tank itself looks fine. We've got a lot of hydraulic oil over on this side. So I think our leak is somewhere over here. And I see a drip. I see dripping. Well, I'm gonna have to get a better light and see if I can see where it's dripping. This side over here is fairly dry. I mean, this thing, it's an old Bobcat. It has hydraulic leaks. It seems like every time we try to do anything on it, it's leaking. The good thing is, this valve body, I'm worried about it. We've overhauled it once and put new seals in it. It's not leaking, so that's good. I'm just gonna have to see what is leaking, and hopefully it's a hose and not a pipe. I see it dripping again. Well, alright, I'm gonna have to do some looking. Alright, see y'all back in a little bit. Alright, I'm fairly certain it's one of these two lines. I think it's this top one. It's either this top one or this bottom one, and it's dripping from the top one down there. And it's either running down from this other one or from the top one, and it's probably these two lines are touching right there, and they probably rubbed into each other. I'll probably end up replacing both lines once I'm gonna take the top one off, take a look at both of them and see what they look like. But I think first what I'm gonna do is start it up, see if once I get some pressure on the system, see if it's, you know, like a streaming leak, see if it's spraying, where I can see it a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Definitely one of those. So I still can't tell which one, but I think if I separate them apart, I should be able to feel which one's got a hole in it. So let me, they're really stiff lines, so let me get something and kind of pull them apart. Alright, so I've got them pried apart where I can kind of see which one's spraying. Looks like the top one, but it could be both. Let me crank it up, let y'all look. So, which one is it? Did y'all fall? Yeah, pretty much kind of fell. Hopefully caught which one. It looked like it was the top one to me. But they're probably both worn into, and if they are, I'll go ahead and replace both. And they're out. That's the top and the bottom one. This is the top one. It is the one that was leaking. You can see where it rubbed and blew out. This was the bottom one that it was rubbing against. I'm going to go ahead and replace it because it's almost through. I don't think it was leaking yet, but it was probably close to blowing out. These were actually some of the easiest lines I've gotten off of this thing. I did this the bar for the controls here on the left side to get that out of the way so I could get to the two ends here, and then took this side plate cover off and the back wheel, and I was able to get to those two right there. So pretty easy. Just need some big wrenches and a cheater bar. And just to show you, some of these are not easy to get to, and the last one we replaced, I don't remember which one it was, but we made this wrench. Took it, well, modified this wrench, cut the end off, bent it so I could get it in there and turn it and get it out. So let me take these hoses down to the hydraulic shop and see if they can make me up 2 new ones. Alright, so quick trip to the hydraulic shop, and 2 hoses made up. One of them, the fittings are the same on them, on each hose, and one hose is 1 inch longer. The top hose is longer because it goes from the top fitting down to the bottom fitting on the other parts, so it's just 1 inch longer. So let's see if I can get these lines in there, and then we'll have to top it off with the hydraulic fluid and see if we have any other leaks. Alright, so there's those 2 lines. I went ahead and I wrapped them, and I don't have any grommet stuff that was quite big enough, but it will kind of stay on it. Went ahead and wrapped them in that. They're actually not touching, but just in case they got pushed up against each other, I think the metal fittings right there might be slightly touching, but the hose itself isn't touching. The hose right there is slightly up against the frame, and so that's why I put a it's like that over on this side too, though. So that's why I went ahead and put the grommet stuff on it. Actually, I put that on there before I put the hoses in there, just in case they did get up against anything. But the hoses aren't touching each other the way they're routed. You don't have much of a choice in the way they route. They actually could be shorter. As you can see, they're a little bit long. They kind of kink because there's excess. If I had them made again, I would probably get them a little bit shorter. You can see this side's a little cleaner. Of course, those other the originals were like that too. They kind of snaked with each other, but I kind of think the hydraulic shop made them maybe 1 inch or 2 longer, which I guess it's better to be long than short, but you know, they worked. That's fine. So anyway, they're on there. What we're going to do is go ahead and fill it with hydraulic fluid before we get it all put back together. I do need to put that that bar in there for the controls, just so we don't have it moving forward, just so it'll center itself back. So I will hook that back up, and then I need to, and then I'll add hydraulic fluid, and we'll start it up. So those are the 2 new hoses. We'll start it up, and we'll start looking for leaks. See if we see any others. Make sure that those are stopped. Make sure where we tighten our fittings, make sure they're tight enough so they're not leaking, and just kind of look everything over and make sure that's all the leaks we have and that we're good to go. So let me get that bar hooked up and get some hydraulic fluid in it. It's not touching on the dipstick again, so I don't know if I have enough fluid to fill it up. I started off, the last time I used it, I emptied out what we had, bought a new 5-gallon tub of it, and I put about, like I said, 3 probably 3 gallons in, so I've only got about 2 gallons left in that jug to put in here. I'll probably have to go get some more. So let's see if we can get it filled up and start it up. Alright, so I have no idea if you can hear me, but I don't see any leaks. We're in good shape. Kitty litter. Alright, I think we're good. Let me get it all back together. Get the plate on, get the wheel on, get the cab back down, and we're good to go. So here's the new alternator. This one came from eBay. Probably made in China, I don't know. It was pretty cheap. Maybe 75 bucks? I don't know. You look elsewhere and they're super expensive. Or at least from a dealer or something. Had it a while. I'm just guessing it was 75 because I can't remember. Like I said, I've had it a while. So what we need to do is get this one off. I'm just kind of looking. We've got a bolt here and a bolt down here. And it should come off. This belt is not the best. It's getting frayed, but to replace it, this one has to come off, and I'm not replacing that one. Or I'm not taking that one off to replace it. We've got a spring tensioner on it. So all we're going to do is just stick a replacement, stick the same belt back on, and if it breaks, we'll deal with it then. So let's get these two bolts out, and we're gonna have to undo these cables. Old one out. It looks awful. This thing is nasty. It might could be cleaned up and start working, but we got a new one. So let's set the new one in there and get it hooked up. Alright, it's installed. Belt's tight. So let's start it up, see if it works. You can see it's below 12 volts. smoke in that belt. Is it guard got this thing blocked? Oh. Exactly what's happening. This thing sticks out further. The pulley must be thicker or something. So I put that on there and I completely locked up the alternator. Get the bottom locked up too. Alright, let me see what I can do about this. So, what I did instead of modifying that bracket, I just popped off the, this pulley was just thicker. So, I just put the old pulley on the new alternator, popped it off with the impact wrench, and should be good to go. Wouldn't do any good to our old alternator belt, but it still looks okay. So, under 12 volts. And we're charging. So, we're in good shape. Thanks for watching.